Hello.
Morning. How's your eye?
Oh, good morning. So I can see you in Israel?
How's your eye? You see me better?
Huh?
You see me better now?
Yeah, very good. I can see
Yes.
the type of uh, cabinets that are typical of Israel.
Yeah.
So your granddaughter had a baby?
Yes, she had a baby boy yesterday,
Oh, Mazel Tov, Mazel
yesterday
Tov.
afternoon. Baruch Hashem, everything's good.
Good,
Well, we still
good.
stick around for a bris. Yeah,
So you're staying at least to the bridge, right?
at least.
Yeah, that's good. All right. It's early for you now.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's
Here it's
4:50 in
good
the
to,
morning, right?
yeah, it's good to start early here. Lots to
Yeah.
do.
Okay. Today is 168, I assume. Not a very long class either.
We're in 168.
So I thought I saw your pictures on the Surba thing, but obviously not.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, yeah.
You
So
couldn't see my pictures. Must have been some other people.
I'm sure. Let's see who sent them. No, Ernie sent them to the Surba WhatsApp Surba. Okay, I think. No. No, I don't know where. Oh, he must be.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Buenas noches.
You see?
Good
But for
Buenos
you, it's good
dias.
morning. Buenos dias.
Yeah, buenos
Buenos
dias for
dias.
Abe. Yeah.
Or Abe, it's good morning.
Good morning. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. Boker tov.
Boker tov.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning.
Tomorrow we're going to learn at 7 p.m.
Okay.
We are on Kuf Sameches, 168. So we had a beautiful event last night, full house, even though there were people missing.
I felt terrible.
No. I have a beautiful certificate for you, George, and for Mario, and for Abe. By the way, it turns out when we looked at the certificates, we have 6 Kohanim in our Tsurba group. We have 6 Kohanim. So it's really something. We have Harold, Abe, Yaakov Yellen, Chaim Eisenberg, Saul Bernstein.
Oh, Saul is a Cohen. I didn't know
Saul
that.
is a Kohen. And who was the 6th Kohen?
You're Vachit? No, in the valley?
And Cy Litwin. Exactly. And Cy Litwin. It's very unusual. Okay.
Wow.
So we said that at Survim Rabbanon, they don't check women out carefully. So therefore, he was allowed to repeat his testimony because normally, is somebody here? Okay. So if a witness normally gives testimony, there's a halacha that you cannot repeat testimony. But it's Surah Rabbanan who's giving testimony about a woman. So Talmidei Chachamim don't check women out that carefully. They're not staring at them because of tznius reasons. So therefore, if later on they change their opinion, they're allowed to because they're not careful about looking at women. So therefore, there's another case. Ahu Tavra, Davachas Maleh Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba. There was a receipt that a woman, it was written for a woman, claiming that she received her ksuba. And Amr Lay, and the woman came and says, Lava, no, you wrote this shoiver, but I never received my ksuba. Another lady must have shown up and signed here, and I've been stiffed, and that other lady was paid my husband's ksuba, and not me, because she forged my signature, and you were the Rav that certified this shoiver. Amr La Ivra Ant Havis. No, it was you. It was not a counterfeit. Well, so I thought you told me that Talmidei Chachamim are not. You can't rely on them about testimony about women. So Amr Abai Afagav the Tzur Rabbanan Lav Orcha Lameidik. Even though most Talmidei Chachamim they're not going to stare at women, even the Doc. Yeah, but once he decided to look and to verify what's going on, then we accept it, Doc, and we rely on it. Listen to this advice. If a Talmid Chacham is going to go and give kiddushin to a woman, he should take an Amaretz with him, someone who's unlearned. Why? We're concerned, like what Yaakov did, what Lavan did to Yaakov, and switched Leah for Rachel. So the Tzur Rabbanan takes a guy who knows women well to check out the woman he's going to give kiddushin to make sure that on the day of the wedding, the right woman shows up. Okay. Then we said Abal Noiten Schar. And when we write a get, the husband pays the soifer's fee.
It's Ernie. It's very strange because the Subban bin the Rabban, and he doesn't want to look at women because he knows the halacha is you're not supposed to look at other women, right? So now you're going to take an Amaretz. You're going to make him do the Avera so that you don't make a mistake when you do that. That's it. The Gemara does not want to say anything on that. It's just strange.
Well, the Gemara recognized that the man is going to give kiddushin to a woman. Now you have to look at the woman to give kiddushin. We know Chazal wants you to be attracted to your wife. Okay,
yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying.
So I think it's a little bit of a joke here. I think it's a little bit.
I think it must be a bit.
It's a little bit of a joke
because it was just like it's a tongue in cheek or something. I don't know.
It's tongue in cheek. So, for example, I don't find that the poskim bring it as a behalacha.
Right.
They bring about writing the shoiver and all of that, but they don't bring this lahalacha. So I think it's a bedichus a little bit to say, listen, we don't want somebody to be tricked like Yaakov was tricked, and not to say that Yaakov didn't check out Rachel and Leah, but maybe he didn't. And therefore, they bring an Amaretz who has no qualms of staring at women, and he'll make sure that it's the right woman.
Yeah, they're very strange. Yaakov kissed Rachel when he met her the first time. Suddenly, he didn't look at her. Okay, it's like the Torah is, okay, let's carry on.
Right.
Right. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So it says that the husband has to pay for the writing the get. Sha'amar Kra, the kosav, the nosan. It's the man who has to write the get and give it to the woman. So he has to, the responsibility of writing it is on him. However, so already in the times of the Gemara, they had changed this minhag, and it now became the responsibility of the women to pay the soifer for the get. Why? We know that the husbands are going to delay and drag their feet. Meanwhile, the woman is naguna, cannot marry other person. So now the women pay for the get, and they pay for it right away, and therefore there's no delay. Okay. We said that you can have a soifer write a star with the borrower only, not with, and the lender doesn't have to be there because the borrower has the eschayvis to pay back. Of course, you can't do it with only a lender. Well, who says that the borrower wants the loan? But you don't need the lender. So the Gemara says pshita. So the Gemara says, it's not a regular loan. They're doing some kind of business partnership. One guy is the financier giving the money, and the guy who's borrowing it is going to do the work, and they're going to share in the profits. But there's a little bit of a halvah going on. But primarily the benefit is for the love. So, even so, it's still a halva, and therefore the lova gets to write it even without the malva being there. We said that a star that documents a mechira, a sale, can be written for the seller even though the buyer's not there. Pshita. And we said that the buyer pays for this soifer. Well, the buyer's benefiting. He's getting the thing that he wants. So could be that the chiddush is lo tzricha b'moicher sadeh b'nei rasa. Let's say a person has a terrible field and he wants to get rid of it. So now he's really happy that he got rid of it. So you might think that in that case, maybe he pays for it. No, the Kona always pays for it. There's a low plug. Then in Koisvin Star Erison, they both have to agree to writing a star documenting the marriage, and the chosin pays the soifer. Pshita. So of course the bride is going to bring so much money. The chosin is going to bring so much money. Of course you need both parties. And the man is giving the kiddushin. Of course he's the one marrying the woman. Of course he has to pay for it. So lo tzricha afilu tzurm rabbanon. Listen, every father-in-law wanted to get a Talmid Chacham as a son-in-law. So maybe in that case, maybe only the Chasam would write the Tnoim. And maybe the Kala would pay for the star. So we say no, we make a low plug, the Chasam always pays for it. Then in Koitzvin Star Arisas for Kablonis, we said if sharecropper is going to take possession of a field and they're going to write a document that he's going to take 30% of the produce. So they both have to agree and they both pay for the star. Pshita, so lo tzricha, where even with this type of a beboire, with a field that they're going to leave fallow for a while. So maybe the owner of the field is more interested even than the sharecropper. So maybe he should pay all of it. We say, no, they both pay. Then we say, whatever that is, whatever a star birur is, they have to both agree. And the Gemara wants to know my story birur. What is that? Hacha targimu, shtari tanasa. That means when you go to Beis Din, each party has like a lawyer, one of the dayanim. Write what his claims are. Each write their own claims so that they can't go back on their claims. They write it down. Rav Yirmiyah Baba Omar that they haven't really decided on the makeup of the Beis Din. So Zer Borer Lo, the litigant chooses one dayan, echad, v'zeh borer lo, echad. Each party chooses a dayan, and then these two dayanim choose the third dayan. You have to write it down so that they don't go back on it. And therefore, they both have to pay for it. There has to be bidashneim. Rashi Gamliel Oimer, lishneim koisvin shnayim. Each, you write two of these shtoros birurim. Lezeh ba'atzmo, lezeh ba'atzmo. And are we saying that lema, b'koifel al midas dom kamifki, midas dom is zeh nene v'zeh lo chaser. If I can do my friend a toiva, and it doesn't cost me anything, and I don't do it, so that's midas dom. And can you force somebody to do something if it's a midas dom? There's bezdin force. And the sides are like this. Mars Tanakama says, it doesn't cost anybody extra to do this. Nobody's losing. Each one gets it. Umar Sover ain't koifin. He can choose, I don't want to pay the extra soifer. Or says, lo, the kul am a koifin. The halacha is you're koifin al midas dom. Somebody tries to get out of doing something, even though it's no loss to him, Bezin forces him to do it. So what's the machlokas here? Time at Rav Shimon Gamliel. What does it mean that one of them doesn't want a joint shtar, he wants his own? It's not a midas dom issue. He doesn't want one document that documents the claims of one guy right next to his claims, because maybe the other guy's claims make a lot more sense. So he doesn't want it side by side. He thinks from a legal point of view has a better chance of winning if each one of them presents it separately. The damisoloiki arbe. It's like a lion lying in ambush, waiting to kill my tinus. So that's why it's not just a midas dom issue. It's maybe a reason why he wants a second document written. Okay. Mishapor mixes choyvoy. There's a shtar that documents a loan for $1,000. And somebody paid off a certain amount of the loan, but they didn't write how much. Now, normally when you pay off a loan, what do you do with the shtar? You tear it up. Why do you tear it up? Because we don't want the malva to present it again to the lova, pay me another $1,000. So the lova makes sure, the borrower makes sure you tear up such a shtar. But the shtar's not been torn up. But there's a claim that he paid part of it. So what do? Hishlish shtaro. They take the shtar and give it to a third party to hold on to. So that, see, if you let the if you let the lender, the malveh, hold on to it, we're worried that he's going to present to the lovet the whole shtar and pay me back my $1,000, even though the lovet may have paid back $500 already, or some part of it. So they give it to a third party to hold, so that the malva doesn't have it. And the borrower says to this third party, Amrlo, Im lo nasati lecha mikan vad yom ploini, that the borrower says to this third party who's holding on to the shtar, if I don't give you the rest of the money until June 1st, you can return the shtar to the lender, the whole shtar. And he gives man. And the date comes, v'lo nosam, Rabbi Yosef Yitain. The third party can give the shtar back to the lender because the lova made such a t'nai. And Rabbi Yehuda Omer lo yitain. Now, what is the lomdisha machloiket between Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Yehuda? The Maika Mifki. There is something called an asmachta. Rabbi Yossi sover asmachta kanya. Somebody makes a t'nai and he promises to do something. He doesn't really believe that t'nai is going to be fulfilled. Where this guy said, oh, if I don't pay it back he believes it's going to be paid back. But if you make such an asmachta, if you make such a statement, there's a hischayvus, there's a chalois hischayvus. And now he has a responsibility. Asmachta will be koine. The loiva was sure that he was going to pay it back before the time. This didn't happen. However, Rabbi Yehuda serve asmachta bichlal loy kanya. When you make such a statement, you're really not relying on that, and therefore it's not koina. And Rabbi Yosi that it is koina, but kiyasu l'kamei Ravami armlu v'chimei achash Rav Yochanan lamdenu pan rishonu shni halacha Rabbi Yosi ani ma'aser. What can I do? It's already been said. The halacha is it's koina, but ein halacha Rabbi Yosi. The halacha is an asmachta is not kanya. So therefore, if somebody had paid back some of the loan, and they gave it to a third party, and he made it tonight that if I don't pay it back by a certain date, give it back. Even if the date comes, he didn't pay it back, the third party is not allowed to give it back to the mother. The t'nai is considered an asmachta, and asmachta is not koina. If they do a formal kinyan, then of course it's koina. They didn't do it, they just used these words. And it's a big sugi in Shas, this concept of an asmachta is koina or not. Now, more in terms of civil procedure, which is what we've been learning in Bava BAsra for the last 20, 30 blocks, civil procedure. How does a shtar work? What happens if a shtar is how do we tell if it's counterfeit? Civil procedure. Misha nimchak shtar choyvay. You have a shtar, which documents $1,000 loan, and some water fell on the shtar, and it erases some of the ink. What do you do? Maimid alav edim. So there were edim signed on that shtar. You bring the edim, who knew and remember what was written there. Uba lifnei bezdin. He comes with those edim in front of bezdin. The oisen lo kiyum. They write a handpick. They write they add a document to the original shtar, and they write ish ploini ben ploini. They say the name of the person. Nimchak shtar b'yom ploini. You know, his shtar got erased on such and such date. Uploini edav. And these are his edim. And they resurrect the shtar. Darabana. Ezeu kiyumo. How are you makayim a shtar that was erased? So we bring the edim, we rewrite the text, and then you have to add b'moisav tlas avina. We were 3 dayanim, and you say anu ploni uploni uploni. You give the names of the 3 dayanim, and the hotzi ploni ben ploni shtar mochel kafanenu. Chaim Yankel ben Avram produced this shtar where there was erasures in the shtar, and they got erased beyond ploni. Uploni edav, and these are his edim. Vim kasuv bo, who's kaknu leedusan shala edim v'nimtzis edusan mechuvenes. We interrogated the edim, and we found that everything is shor v'kayim, right? It's okay. Goive. You can use the shtar to collect money. Ve'eno tzarich lavi raya. You don't have to bring any other proof. Now, im lav, if all of this has not been written, tzarich lavi raya, he has to bring other proof to be able to collect with it. Then, nikra, if the shtar had purposely been torn, pasul. Nitkara, if it got torn on its own, kosher. Nimchak onishtatesh, if the ink got blurry or erased. So imri shumo nicker, if we can identify what's written, kosher. Okay, that's the baraisa. Hechidami nikra, hechidami niskar. How do we know whether something was torn bekavana or whether it was torn? Nikra is krashal bezdin. Nikra means we see clearly that bezdin tore it. They have a certain way of tearing a shtar. Niskara is kara shein shel bezdin. It got torn a little bit but it's not something that bezdin did. Now, how do we know echidami krashal bezdin? On Rav Yehuda, makom edim, makom azman, makom atoyif. So bezdin tears the shtar in particular places where the Eidim are, where the date is, and the Toirif is called it's not the boilerplate, it's the details. For example, the name of the parties and how much the loan was for. That's called the Toirif. Abaya Omar Shesi ve'erev. Abaya Omar says Bezdin tears it like a cross. You tear it this way and you tear it this way. Hanu Arvoy, the Asula Pumpadisa. Dava Ka'ansi Arasa de Inshi. These are Arabs. Rashi says Yishmaelim. But they were like mafia guys. And they were stealing pieces of land. And they were forcing the owners of the land to give them the shtar, the deed, the documents that they're the owner. So what did the Jews do? Asr Mavasayu Kamoy. The owners of the field came in front of Abaya. And Amrulay, they said to Abaya, Lechzi Mar Shtarim. We want you, Abaya, to look at these shtaros. V'lichtav lan Mar Shtar Achrin Alei. Write a copy of a shtar because these stars are going to be stolen from us. We want you, Bezdin, to have a copy of this star so you know who the true owner is. The Mitnischad, one of these Arabs are going to come take the land against our will and they'll take our star. Naktinan Chad biyadon. You'll have the star, we'll have it, there will be like a duplicate star. So Abaya, Amr Lahu, my Avid Lahu. Amrav Safra in question you're not allowed to write two deeds of trust on one piece of land. Why? Dilma Torf Adar Torif. If you have a star, which somebody owes you money, and you can use that star to go to the guy who borrowed money from you. If he doesn't have any assets, you can go and take land away from somebody that guy had sold land to. You can do it again and again. So that's why if you have two staros, you can do it a second time. So we're not allowed to do that. How can I write another star for you? Have a Qatar, but they were chepping Abaya. So Armani L'Safri told his scribe, Zil Kosov, go write them. Go write it. Hu alam chak ve'edav alaniyar. He know what he was doing. He told the sofer to write it on something that was erased, but that the Edom should be on the unerased, which Abaya knew was apostle star. So even though he would fulfill what they wanted, but they knew but Abaya knew that star would never be validated because it's apostle when you write it that way. But at least it got them off his back. But maybe the original star, you can see the writings. Vitanya, Nimchak or Nitashte, if it was erased. Im Rishuma Nicker kosher. So there's still a possibility that this second star that's going to be written could be used in a nefarious way. For second payment. Armelay, Mi Kamina Star Ma'al. I never told him to write a real text. Aleph Beis B'Hamaka. I told him write some letters that they should write and they should erase it, and then they'll write on the erasure. But I didn't tell him to write a real thing that eventually Rishumo Nicker. He just wrote Aleph Beis. Tadrabon. Aresha Bava Omar Avad Shtar Choivi. Person says, I had a star where somebody owed me money, and I lost it, and I don't have Eidim. Ava Bishamru Eidim Anu Kasavnu V'Chasanu V'Nasanu Lo. Or there was no Eidim, there's no Eidim that he lost the star. So even though the Eidim who were on the star say we wrote it, we signed it, ain't question also star. We don't write him another star. But Medrar Mishtar Alva. We're talking about a loan document. Because maybe he didn't, we don't trust the guy. Maybe he didn't lose the first star. Now he's hit it. Now he's gonna have a second star. And he's gonna collect from the borrower twice. But a star that documents a transaction, koisvin. But chutz min achrayis shebo can write a new star according to the testimony of the Eidim. But you won't be able to use this to collect from assets that have been sold by the guy to somebody else. Because we're afraid that maybe he has a hidden star somewhere that he'll produce a second time. Okay. So these are very devious and